The genetic legacy of Neanderthals. In this video, we will explore one of the most intriguing chapters of our evolutionary history. The genetic legacy left by the Neanderthals. For millennia, Neanderthals were seen as distant relatives, but advances in genetics have revealed a much more complex story. Today, we know that their DNA lives within us, influencing various aspects of our lives. The presence of Neanderthal genes in modern humans raises fascinating questions about how we got here. Studies show that between 1% and 2% of the DNA of people of European and Asian descent can be attributed to this ancient human species. This fact not only redefines how we understand evolution, but also how we view ourselves in the intricate tapestry of human history. Throughout this video, we will discover how this genetic heritage influences our biology and how it can even impact our health. We address the intersection of science, history, and medicine, opening new perspectives on our shared identity. Prepare for an enlightening journey that will illuminate the hidden secrets in our genes. To understand the genetic legacy of the Neanderthals, we must first situate ourselves in the past, revisiting who these fascinating ancestors were. Neanderthals lived about 400,000 to 40,000 years ago, occupying vast regions of Europe and Asia. Adapted to the cold glacial environment, they developed robust physical characteristics, such as elongated skulls and prominent brow ridges. Neanderthals were not only physically adapted, but also culturally. They created sophisticated tools, developed efficient hunting techniques, and perhaps more intriguingly, evidence suggests they had symbolic practices, such as the use of adornments and intentional burial of the dead. This complex behavior raises questions about their communication and cognitive abilities. In their coexistence with Homo sapiens around 60,000 years ago, genetic intermingling occurred. Through interbreeding, our ancestral lineage absorbed these direct influences, establishing a legacy that persists in our DNA today. This interaction was not only biological but also cultural, paving the way for the exchange of knowledge and skills. Recognizing these interactions helps us see Neanderthals not as a footnote in history, but as co-protagonists of an intertwined evolutionary narrative. Understanding their roles and impacts on modern humans allows us to appreciate the complexity of human history. We can now proceed to explore genetics and uncover the methods used to unveil these ancient secrets. With the advancement of genetic technology, we have finally been able to unearth valuable information about the Neanderthals from their remains. The genome sequencing technique, a remarkable achievement in modern science, has allowed us to extract and decipher the DNA found in fossilized bones thousands of years old. The meticulous work of unraveling the Neanderthal genome began with the collection of fossil samples from strategic locations. Scientists used advanced DNA extraction methods to avoid contamination and ensure data accuracy. Analyses revealed not only the presence of Neanderthal genes but also the extent of their influence among modern humans. Sequencing the Neanderthal genome was a milestone, not only by illuminating the past, but also by opening a new field of genetic research. The comparison between Neanderthal and Homo sapiens genomes revealed crucial similarities and differences. Approximately 99.7% of our DNA is identical, but those small variations are where the true story lies. These discoveries have generated renewed interest in the scientific community, leading to new questions about Neanderthal survival and adaptation. They help us understand how certain genes influence aspects of our biology, such as fat metabolism or immune response to certain diseases. Through this genetic insight, we can begin to map detailed past interactions, better understanding the mutual influences that shaped humanity's trajectory. This fascinating work continues to evolve, promising even deeper insights in the future. Now that we've established the genetic basis, we are ready to discuss the specific contributions of Neanderthals that remain evident in our DNA and how these genetic inheritances impact our contemporary health and well-being. Neanderthals not only coexisted with Homo sapiens, but also left a significant portion of their genetics that still shapes our lives. This genetic heritage leads to a range of features that influence everything from physical traits to our health. Physical and biological traits. Some Neanderthal genes are associated with physical characteristics such as skin and hair color and even body shape. The adaptation of Neanderthals to cold climates appears in genes that today influence thermal regulation and lipid metabolism in modern humans. Influence on health. A particularly interesting area is how Neanderthal DNA affects our health. For example, certain genes linked to the immune system, inherited from the Neanderthals, have improved our ability to fight infections. However, this legacy also brings disadvantages, such as an increased predisposition to certain autoimmune diseases and allergies. Behavioral impacts. There is evidence that Neanderthal DNA may also influence behavioral and neurological aspects. Certain genes are associated with predisposition to various neurological conditions, although these connections are still the subject of intense study and scientific debate. Genetic comparisons. The analysis of the Neanderthal genome allows us to make direct and detailed comparisons with modern human DNA. These comparisons extend our understanding of human evolution and challenge old assumptions about evolutionary superiority. They reveal a complex web of influences and adaptations that defined Homo sapiens. Practical examples. One example is how some human populations respond to medication. The presence of specific Neanderthal DNA variants may influence the efficacy or side effects of certain drugs, an area of study with significant implications for personalized medicine. Benefits and disadvantages. While some Neanderthal genes offer advantages such as greater immune resistance, others may increase the risk of chronic diseases. This balance between benefits and risks is a central theme in contemporary genetic research. These genetic contributions have enriched our understanding of human biology and continue to be a rich area for scientific discovery. As we explore these complexities, we offer a more integrated and in-depth view of our genetic heritage. With this information, we can move on to discuss the implications of these discoveries in the scientific and medical fields, paving the way for practical and innovative applications. The discovery of the genetic legacy of the Neanderthals has opened new frontiers in the fields of science and medicine. Recent studies show that understanding these influences can have significant implications for health. In medical research, the presence of Neanderthal genes directly impacts the development of new treatments. Researchers are exploring how these variants influence responses to infections, allergies, and autoimmune diseases, enabling more effective and personalized therapies. Case studies. A notable study examines genetic predisposition to influenza and other viral diseases, showing that some Neanderthal genes may offer enhanced resistance. These case studies highlight both the benefits and challenges of our ancestral heritages. Personalized medicine. Neanderthal genetics is also being integrated into efforts to personalize medicine. By understanding how these variants influence individual health, doctors can tailor treatments to maximize effectiveness based on each patient's unique genetic profile. Clinical decisions. Thus, future clinical decisions may benefit from these discoveries, potentially reducing risks and improving health outcomes. This represents a paradigm shift in how we treat diseases, with strategies that consider the complexity of our evolutionary heritage. These implications underscore the importance of continuing to investigate this field, as it not only helps us better understand our past, but also has the potential to improve our future. As we progress, we will see how myths and truths about the Neanderthals influence popular and scientific perceptions. Myths and facts. The relationship between modern humans and Neanderthals is surrounded by many myths that distort public understanding of our evolutionary link. Correcting these perceptions is vital to fully appreciating these ancestors' impact. Demystification of concepts. Neanderthals were often portrayed as less intelligent or primitive compared to Homo sapiens. However, evidence shows that they had a rich culture, used sophisticated tools, and had symbolic practices such as the use of pigments and perhaps even art. Common myths. A persistent myth is that Neanderthals were completely eliminated or replaced by modern humans. In reality, genetic intermingling demonstrates a coexistence with interbreeding and cultural incorporations. They did not disappear completely. Their traits still live among us. Interesting facts. Neanderthals had cognitive and social capabilities that rivaled those of Homo sapiens. Recent findings point to complex family structures and potentially advanced verbal communication, challenging old concepts about their limitations. Cultural impact. The perpetuation of myths influences how we view our shared evolutionary effects. Deconstructing these misconceptions offers a more balanced view, where Neanderthals are recognized as co-protagonists in our evolutionary history. Clarifying these truths not only enriches our scientific knowledge, but also offers us a more human and connected view of the Neanderthals. As we dispel the myths, we can finally recognize their true legacy in our DNA. As we conclude our exploration of this fascinating intersection of history and genetics, we synthesize the key learnings and reflections. As we wrap up our exploration of the Neanderthals' genetic legacy, it becomes clear that these ancestors play a fundamental role in understanding our own evolution. The study of their DNA has revealed not only shared biological traits, but also opened new perspectives on how they currently influence our health and behavior. We have recapped how the often misunderstood Neanderthals are integral parts of the human fabric. From genetic influences on immune response to cultural impacts, their contributions are complex and significant. This understanding encourages us to continue unraveling the intricate layers of our genetic heritage. By integrating this wisdom into the fields of science and medicine, we can not only enhance our quality of life, but also honor our ancestors in a profound and meaningful way. As research advances, new discoveries promise to further expand our appreciation for these ancestral connections. We invite you, the viewer, to reflect on these findings and actively engage in this ongoing conversation about who we are and where we come from. With this knowledge, we not only see evolution in a new light, but also strengthen our common identity. The Neanderthals' legacy lives on, and it is through us that it perpetuates. Thank you for joining us on this journey.